Welcome everybody to our April call, Herbalicious. Wasn't that a clever title? Come on, give us some credit for that. Okay, so thanks for being on live with us. Hello to anybody who's watching the recording. We're going to spend the next 30 minutes talking about essential oils that are part of the herb family. We want to give you simple uses, tips, some recipes to help you put these oils to good use. I would encourage you to take notes as we go. If you have a question, put it in the chat box. We'll work on getting them answered. So many of you have probably heard some of the statistics I'm about to share. Maybe we'll just turn it, if you know the answer, put it in the chat box, okay? Well, this first one, I don't know if I'll be able to pause long enough, but did you know that essential oils are 50 to 70 times more powerful than herbs, right? We talk about this, we teach you this right off the bat, how powerful and potent they are. And here we are talking about the herb family specifically. I bet you can answer this one. 1 drop of peppermint essential oil is the equivalent to, what is it, my friends? Who's gonna get it right first? 28 cups. 28 cups of what? Peppermint tea, right, my friends? Okay, so potency, it's so important. And I know I really love the way that like the natural world and people who think holistically, like look at herbs and different ways you can care for yourself and different like tinctures and things like that. But can I just be straight with you? The potency of the essential oils you have at home, it's significant and should not be discounted. And so I just want to remind you of that and what doTERRA does so well when it comes to potency as we're talking about these oils. And remember, like our doTERRA oils come a variety of plants, herbs, trees, spices, right? But we're going to explore this specific category of oils tonight. And there are similarities between the individual herb oils, but they're all unique as well. Okay, so we are going to talk about quite a few different ones: basil, cilantro, lemongrass, marjoram, melissa, so on and so forth. I just want to start by noting the similarities. Okay, so all 12 oils in the herb category are distilled using steam distillation. There's one similarity. And the other is that each of these oils can be taken internally, and therefore they're great for cooking, right? That should make sense to all of us herbs, okay? So now we're gonna get to hear from different leaders to tackle the oils individually and give you some great tips for each one. So we are gonna kick it off to Emily first.
Okay, which one am I talking about? Rosemary or spearmint?
Can you do both?
Sure, let's do it all. Okay, let's start with rosemary. So rosemary, like all these that we're going to talk about, has so many uses. So rosemary, first off, is great for digestion. So if you're having issues being regular, you need an extra boost, I would add in a drop of rosemary. You can just put it topically right on your stomach, morning and night, to kind of help move things along. Rosemary is also really great for focus. So rosemary and lemon together in the diffuser or applied topically when you're studying, and then again right before you take a test. So the smelling of it, like while you're taking in the information and then before you're tested on that information, can help with memory retention, memory recollection. So use this for your kids, use this for yourself, right? Like it can be a roller blend, it can be in the diffuser. If you really need to focus before a presentation, if you really need to, like, all right, I got to sit down and get a lot of work done, rosemary and lemon. If you're a teacher, highly recommend this blend as well. Okay, rosemary lemon hummus. So this is a recipe I will put the link for in the chat. So yummy. So if you've done an oily pop-up or a recipes class, this recipe is in there as well. Cooking with your oils is so easy and it makes you sound so fancy because you can say it's been infused with rosemary essential oil, like so fancy, when really you just were like drip. So really good. So I'll post the recipe in the comments. It's super easy. Rosemary and eucalyptus can help enhance and promote the healing of wounds. So use those together if something is painful, needs a little help getting better. You can spray it on your plants as an insect repellent, and you can take it internally to support healthy respiratory function and reduce nervous tension or fatigue. So like what Amy said, feel free to use these however you want, internally, topically, diffuse them. They're all great. Okay, so lots of great uses for rosemary. All right, spearmint. We're just going to go right into the next one, okay? So spearmint is, as you can hear, from the mint family. So this is gentler and sweeter than peppermint. So if If you don't like peppermint, if maybe you have a child that doesn't like peppermint, you think it's too strong, spearmint is a super good alternative there. So it has limonene in it, which is a constituent that you'll hear us talk about with like a chemical constituent in citrus oils. So limonene is what is really helpful for cleaning. It's what's helpful for mood boosting, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, anti-stress, all those things. So that's what we talk about with citrus. The same is true for spearmint. So reach for that for all those same things. Combine it with citrus for that extra boost. It smells really good together. So kind of like rosemary, you can diffuse spearmint for focus. You can use it like we do peppermint to bring down a body temperature. If it's hot in the summer, if someone's not feeling well, put that on the back of the neck, on the forehead, right? Just to help kind of bring down your temperature there. Reducing tension. If you hold a lot of tension in your neck and shoulders, you can put spearmint on your, like wherever you're feeling that sore muscle pain. Uplift your mood, like we talked about, add it with the citrus into your water, diffuse it, super good mood boost. Freshen your breath just a little bit. You can put a little bit on your finger and swipe it on your tongue, or just put a drop right on your tongue. That works too. And then it's great for digestive support. So you can take it internally. It's cleansing like citrus oils as well. All right, so there's lots of great recipes you can use spearmint in. So you can make kind of like a mocktail, just club soda, ice, and a drop of spearmint and a lime. So super easy, really fresh, great for the summer. Spearmint lemonade. So just a pitcher of lemonade and put a couple drops of spearmint in it. Tastes really yummy, gives it that extra flavor, and it's really refreshing for summer. So definitely grab your spearmint as the weather starts to heat up.
Thanks, Em. Okay, Laura J.
I had to write down that the spearmint and lime and sparkling water is like a refresher, since I'm pregnant and really wishing I could have a adult beverage. So I think that'll satisfy that. Thanks, Em. Okay, so I'm talking about cilantro. One interesting fact about cilantro is it takes 7 pounds, so think of 7 fresh pounds of cilantro to make one 15 milliliter bottle. It can be used topically, aromatically, and internally. Benefits of using it, just a few benefits of using it internally. Aids in digestion, specifically your gas or bloating that you have. And you can just drop a little bit in your water. You can put a little bit under your tongue. It's also very cleansing and detoxifying for internal organs. And also keeps the mouth, our teeth, and our gums clean and healthy. So like a drop on your toothbrush, or again, like swishing it around in your mouth and then spitting it out, kind of like a mouth rinse. Aromatically, it can induce feelings of relaxation or calming those anxious feelings, can support restful sleep. And then it blends well with citrus oils. So if you're looking for something uplifting in the afternoon, try cilantro with your favorite citrus oil. And then topically, it can also be good for keeping your fingernails and your toenails clean, which I've never tried. But that might be something, like maybe after you're outside gardening, maybe try some cilantro on your nails to clean out that dirt under your nails. And it's very cooling and soothing for the skin. And then emotionally, I always think this one is interesting. So I've been told, and I think this still holds true, if there's an oil that really like makes you turn your nose up, emotionally you usually need it, but maybe aren't necessarily ready for it. But it's something that your body or your mind really needs. So if cilantro is one that you don't really like, you might have issues with releasing control. But it helps release feelings of feeling like you need to control things, or constricted, or like toxic feelings, and also like behaviors of obsessive compulsive behaviors or thoughts. And then it can help open up feelings of being liberated, cleansed, and letting go. And then just a couple ideas for recipe, super simple. If you make your own salsa, guac, or hummus, just take a toothpick. I would start with a toothpick and stick it in your bottle of your oil and stir it around until you get the flavor that you want, because it could be really, one drop could be really strong. And then you can also try lime and cilantro rice. So make your rice, and again, you know, put a toothpick in your lime and a separate one in your cilantro, and make your lime and cilantro rice. And that's all I got for you guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Laura. Okay, Susan.
Okay, I'm not as knowledgeable as the rest of you, so I just know what I like. But I was challenged a while back by both Melissa and Amy to try Melissa of all things, and so I did. Of course, I read up on it because that's what I have to do. And I really liked that the Essential Emotions book talked about Melissa as being a bearer of light. That really spoke to my heart. And I especially also liked that the Modern Essentials Handbook said that Melissa is the nearest one can find to a rejuvenator. Not that I'm not feeling old, but sometimes I get tired. Not something which will make us young again, but which helps to cushion the effect of our mind and the world outside on our body. So what I've been doing, it's just, and I can't, I have no proof of this, but I'm in a pretty stressful period right now. I'm heading towards retirement in about 6 weeks, and we are taking apart our home. So I'm taking apart my professional life and our personal life so that we can move 1,000 miles to be closer to my dad and our children and my grandson. And so what I've been doing is using Melissa morning and night. I use it on the bottom of my toes, the big toe on each foot. I use it at my wrists. I use it on the back of my neck. And then I do what Amy suggested, because I tried a drop of it and I thought I honestly didn't like the taste. It was kind of astringent. And so Amy, who is so wise, had suggested just running your finger or thumb around the rim of the bottle and putting it on the top of roof of your mouth. And so I started doing that. So morning and night, I began doing both of those, all of that. And I just found myself feeling more resilient and buoyant. And then I forgot about it and put it, as I sometimes do. And I found myself feeling kind of draggy and discouraged again. And so I tried it again, went back to the Melissa and went back to the same protocol, and again, found myself feeling resilient and buoyant. And honest to gosh, there is a lot going on in my life, and anything that helps with resilience and buoyance is what I want to do. So do I have time to share about my little blend? Okay, so what Melissa knows about me is I love making blends. And so I had found the bottle of Litzia that we got free 1 month. And I didn't know what to do with it. So I looked it up in the Essential Emotions book. And it said that it was, I just looked for the code word and it said manifestation. I thought, oh my gosh, I'm trying to make all this stuff happen. That's what I need. So I took the Litzia and I looked up what it said for companion oils. And it listed blue tansy, clary sage, lemongrass, Melissa, and turmeric. I thought, Melissa, okay, that's good. This is already working. And I put 10 drops of each into a roller bottle, filled the rest of it up with fractionated coconut oil, and added that to my protocol. But is that enough? Oh, and I call it manifest. And just in case that wasn't enough, because like I told you, I've got a lot on my plate, blue tansy is not good internally, but the others all are. So what I do on especially challenging days is I put a drop of each into a 40-ounce bottle of water in the morning, shake it up, and drink it. And you might think that Litzia, Litzia, clary sage, lemongrass, Melissa, and turmeric might not taste good together, but honestly, they do. And for a big project, trying to make happen in my life what needs to be happening, what I'm called to at this time in my life, what wouldn't you want with? And these are the key words for these: manifestation, inspired action, clarity and vision, cleansing. You'd have to see my house to understand this. Light and restoration. I am so grateful for Manifest and Melissa.
Thanks. I feel more resilient and buoyant just from listening to you on Zoom. So thank you. That really was amazing. Jerry, you're up next.
Boy, Susan, you're a tough act to follow. is really inspiring. I mean, my goodness, you know a lot. Okay, so I'm going to talk about basil. And basil, as many of us have used in cooking, right? And doing a little research for tonight, because I don't know everything. Susan, you may think, we all, but I did research. So anyways, basil is also from the peppermint, the mint family. So it's got similar properties as the spearmint and the peppermint. So it has, if you want to change it up a bit and don't want the real minty, try basil, applying it to cool down like we would with peppermint. I would probably dilute it, maybe make a a roller bottle with it. But in a hurry, you could just put a little fraction of coconut oil, a drop of basil, and then rub it on the temples. And that is good for mental alertness. Diffusing, after like a day of, activity or working out, again, for cooling down, basil would be something different to try. You could also combine it with wintergreen and use it in a massage. So depending how your massage therapist feels about that, or whoever's applying it to you, that was a combination I never thought of and haven't tried that one yet, but I will. Also, for those who are still having some challenges, which many of you are possibly with menstrual cramps, suggested basil could be helpful for that. So 1 drop with the carrier oil in a capsule can be very helpful for relaxing, relieving some of those cramps. What else? Diffusing. So diffusing, very uplifting. I've got it diffusing right now. So I did 2 lime, 2 bergamot, 1 basil, and 1 peppermint. And you could kind of mix that combination a little differently, but I love it. It's really great. And then a fun fact is, in the Italian culture, basil was used as a sign of love. So the female would put a potted plant of basil out on her balcony, and then if whatever male was interested, would have his sprig of basil on, and then they would connect. So there you go. And basil, I will post this in the chat box, but dressing for any pasta salad you have would be 3/4 of a cup of olive oil, 3/4 of a cup of red wine vinegar, a clove of garlic minced and put in there, 1 teaspoon of salt, pepper, and 2 drops of basil oil. And that keeps for a long time if you just want to put it on your salad as well. And I've used that and I love it. So there you go. And next is Amy.
Thank you, Jerry. Okay, lemongrass. So 3 words to describe lemongrass. I love these: electrifying, regenerating, and purifying. So I love, love, love this oil because it's only $10, my friends. Let me repeat that, $10. And you can do so many things. I like to clean with it. I like to diffuse it, especially like in that after dinner time. And I also really love it for aches and pains, like topically. So other things that it's good for, it's great for blood pressure and cholesterol. I would recommend taking internally in a capsule. It's good to support your thyroid, whether that's hypo or hyper. Okay. So again, internally in a capsule. Also, there are some really great roller bottle recipes out there that incorporate lemongrass into it. Bladder and kidney support, whether that's like an infection or stones, something like that. Using it internally, diluting and applying topically over your lower abdomen. Okay, so I want to tell you a quick funny story about cleaning, because I mentioned that I like to clean with lemongrass. There was somebody who was very smart, who was cleaning in an office space where like it was just like pretty negative. It wasn't going well. It was like, it was rough. And it literally she was cleaning really well. Nobody was there, right? In an office space. It like turned around the whole mood of the office. She cleaned with lemongrass. That was like her go-to. It was her secret weapon. It is good for joint, ligament, and tendon pain. It's a great insect repellent. I love it for that. I'm going to give you 2 recipes, one for cooking and one for use for like an ailment. So how about coconut, lemongrass, red lentil soup? Sign me up. I'll put the recipe in the chat box, but I think that sounds like such a killer combination. That one comes right from doTERRA's blog. And then the pain killing balm. This is one we talk about in some of our classes about discomfort, but I think this is one that everybody should have on hand. So you're going to take your veggie capsule and you're going to put in a drop of lemongrass, 2 drops of frankincense, and a drop of marjoram. There's some variations on this, but that's a great little grouping, that trio. And you could take that in a veggie capsule every 3 hours hours for support. Okay, so now you know all about lemongrass. And Susan, what is next?
I love lemongrass, but if it's this Susan, there's so many Susans on tonight. I'm doing oregano, and I picked this for one that I wanted to research, like Jerry talks about, and Susan was talking about, because oregano is amazing. It is one of the most powerful and potent essential oils, and its primary chemical compound, I'm going to geek out just a little bit, I hope Amy likes this, it's for her, is caracol. Okay, so this is a phenol with strong antioxidant properties, especially when you ingest it. So that brings us to like how to use this, right? So oregano, you can absolutely ingest this. Now there's a fun way and a furious way to go about this, if you will. So like you can ingest it by cooking with it, right? So we've mentioned this before, some of the other herbs, but because it's one of the strong oils, you may want to use that technique that Laura was talking about, right? So until you get used to how strong it can be and how potent these oils are, you might just want to dip that toothpick in a little bit into the orifice there, and then just kind of increase until, you know, it's good for taste, right? So instead of risk getting more drops than you want, you can just use that and get a scant amount. Of course, for a whole batch of spaghetti sauce or something like that, you may need just a few drops, but less is better to start off with cooking, which is what I would say. From the person who doesn't cook, my husband does. The furious, or the more serious way, is what you've heard me say so many times before. And I use oregano as part of the flume bomb. So I always have to give credit to my very first sign up, Dana, for this. She asked so many amazing questions, and none that I could pretty much answer at that point in time, and I needed a lot of help. But she started Googling some of this and looking through Pinterest for like this healthy immune boosting ideas, and along came flume, right? So this was all about the time when the C word first came into our lives. And so I did this every day, my personal self, just saying for me, for prevention for this. So what I did was I did 2 drops of each in a veggie cap, and then added FCO daily to this, or the fractionated coconut oil. So 2 drops of frankincense, lemon, on guard, oregano, and melaleuca or tea tree, right? So I thought this was just the bomb, and you can actually Google it as an immune bomb. And this is amazing. This is such a strong, wonderful thing, and you can ingest it that way. So for diffusing, if you actually look on the PIP, the PIP form on the website, doTERRA says that you can diffuse this. But I'm going to tell you that it is a really strong scent. And my sweet friend, and I believe she was my second sign up, learned the hard way. So I didn't realize she had gotten her kit. She was so excited about using it. And she was like, oh yeah, let's do oregano. So she opened it and thought that would be the place to start. Her whole house smelled like a pizzeria for days. I had no idea. It was kind of fun. Learned a lesson. It's strong. And of course you can do topically, right? So certainly you can, but it's a hot oil, so you really should dilute it with a carrier oil. I think I'm saying that right. Amy, you can correct me if I'm incorrect on that, but it's a strong oil, so you need to dilute that probably with some FCO for less intensity, and go ahead and put it on the feet like others have mentioned, and I think it's great. So one other way you can use oregano, again, because of its immune boosting properties, is in a household cleaner. So I didn't really talk, I mean, I talked a little bit about with recipes, but just so that you know, you can take a 4-ounce glass spray bottle with 1 ounce of witch hazel and add 10 drops of tea tree, 15 of lemon, and 5 oregano, and fill the rest with water for like an amazingly clean house, right? I personally would love to add On Guard to almost everything that I do. So especially when it comes to cleaning. So that would be something thrown in my bottle, and then just add the rest with distilled water. So that is some of the ways in which you can use oregano.
Thanks, Susan. All right, Mimi.
Okay, hi everybody. So I get to talk about marjoram. I love marjoram. So I'm going to tell you, some of you might not even know that this is part of the herb family botanically, and that this incredible oil is distilled from the leaves. It is an analgesic, so that means it helps with pain. It's antibacterial, antispasmodic. Hello, if you have to get up in the night all the time to use the bathroom, here you go. And it supports the circulatory system. So also, so one of the, like, to just be really basic, it helps support your immune system, but cardiovascular is where I love it. Emotionally, marjoram is the oil of connection. So this is the oil that helps people who have been hurt and have issues with trust and fear of rejection. This encourages emotional openness, love, and the ability to trust again. So this oil can be used the 3 ways that we teach: aromatically, topically, and internally. It enjoys being diffused. That's my word, with bergamot, cypress, lavender, wild orange, rosemary, and ylang ylang. It's great applied topically to sore muscles after a workout. I would use it with a carrier oil to massage the area that is sore. It's not a hot, spicy oil like some of the oils we've talked about, but it's nice to add a carrier oil, and the oil will go a little bit further, and it's just great to use that way. Amy talked about this. You stole my thunder, man. I use this definitely internally for pain relief, but I actually make it a lot bigger than what Amy said. I do 6 drops each of marjoram, lemongrass, and frankincense in a veggie cap, and I do that every 4 to 6 hours. So this is what I would refer to as like extreme pain control. All right. I use this post-op and didn't have to take my pain meds, so you get an idea. Or you can put these oils in a roller bottle and you can take them internally for pain. I'm sorry, apply them topically for pain. Here's another one for the cardiovascular system. Like I talked about, you can take a roller bottle and do 20 drops each of ylang ylang and copaiba, and 10 drops each of lavender and marjoram. You would apply on the inside of the elbows and over the heart. And the reason the inside of the elbows is because in Chinese medicine, that corresponds to the heart. One last thing I wanted to talk about is some people have thyroid issues, and having a blend that you can use to roll right on your neck twice a day is really important. And I've gotten great feedback on this blend. So 20 drops of all of these oils: frankincense, myrrh, clove, basil, marjoram, and lemongrass. Top that off with fractionated coconut oil and you apply it right here. So I just love marjoram, and I think you would too. Give it a whirl.
Do you want to talk about time for a minute, or should we move on? Oh, you're muted.
I can go right into time if you want.
Yep, you're it.
Okay, so thyme is actually, again, part of the mint family. What is it with me and mint? Steam distilled from the leaf again. Now, guys, this is an antithelmintic. $10 to anybody who knows what that means. It means it's anti-parasitic, which is really important to know. If you ever have an issue with a parasite, you're going to think of me and you're going to think of thyme. It's antimicrobial and it's an immunostimulant. So make sure to dilute this oil. Susan was talking about the heat of the oregano. I agree with her, and I say that thyme is right there. The ratio for that would be to dilute it 1 drop of thyme to 4 drops of FCO. So you want to dilute it quite a bit, okay? Really powerful antioxidants when taken internally, which supports your immune system, but it also repels insects. So emotionally, I love this. Are you ready? I'm diffusing this right now. It's the oil of releasing and forgiving. It's one of the most powerful cleansers of the emotional body, and it assists in addressing trapped feelings which have been buried for a long time. You got to diffuse this. And a little known fact, this oil is actually kosher certified. So I thought that was really interesting. So aromatically, topically, and internally, here's a diffuser recipe. This is what I'm diffusing. It smells amazing. A drop of thyme, 2 drops of eucalyptus, and 3 drops of lime. It helps ease anxious feelings caused by unresolved relationship issues. It helps you release and forgive. It blends well with bergamot, tea tree, oregano, and rosemary. You can use this topically for skin infections. Again, I would dilute it heavily. If you know somebody that has like a bronchial or an upper respiratory infections, like maybe there's something going around that people might be getting that have that issue, you would apply it heavily diluted over the chest and for the lung reflex points. You could heavily dilute it and use it over adrenals for chronic fatigue, For pain, for post-op pain, you can layer deep blue soothing blend over the area of discomfort and then apply equal parts of thyme, lemongrass, and peppermint diluted. Or you can put 10 drops each in a roller bottle and fill the rest with FCO and use it that way. Internally, 1 to 2 drops in a capsule for bacterial infection or parasites. And we have a fierce oiler friend, Anne Maylette, who uses this recipe when she has a flare of her chronic intestinal condition. She uses 2 capsules each day with 2 drops each of oregano, basil, frankincense, and thyme. And last but not least, don't forget you can cook with thyme and all of these herb oils. You could make a spray with oregano and thyme and mist it with olive oil on top of cubed potatoes and toss with salt and pepper and roast. That's delicious. Steve LaRiviere makes cooking oils, and one of his favorites is thyme and basil together. And he bastes that on chicken, veggies, and fish for delicious flavor.
Thanks. Okay, Sonia.
Okay, perfect. So I got patchouli tonight. I actually never realized it was an herb oil. It's part of the mint family. It has very freshening and deodorizing properties, and it can be used all 3 ways. It's actually one you can take internally. I'd probably recommend in a capsule. But from the emotions book, some of us have talked about tonight, patchouli tempers the obsessive personality by bringing them down to reality and teaching them moderation. It is grounding and stabilizing. It's a great complement to yoga practice. This oil calms fears and nervous tension, stills the heart and mind, and preparing the spirit and body for deeper union. If you struggle with like body image or you don't like your body, this oil brings confidence into your body as well as grace, poise, and physical strength. I thought it was interesting that what I just read about the OCD type thing, it's also found in the sensory protocol of Symphony of the Cells, and that is one of the possible conditions associated with that. So very interesting. Along with behavior, mood, stress, it's very uplifting. My favorite thing, it's one of my favorite oils. Like it's a really strong base note, so I love using it like for perfumes. And if you don't have patchouli, you can totally use Intune because patchouli is like a big part of Intune. Which is an awesome perfume that's going to last you all day. You're going to get compliments if you wear it anywhere. So a perfume blend / spray that I want to make is 8 sandalwood, 2 wild orange, 2 patchouli, and 1 ylang ylang. And this is actually going into a 30 milliliter spray bottle. So you can buy these for a couple bucks for a 3-pack on the website. And then do half fractionated coconut oil and half witch hazel to make it a nice spray. I think it could be a wonderful like body spray. Like I said, it's cleansing and deodorizing. So dang, throw it under your armpits or something, you know? And then you can also make an oral rinse. And I did try this. So it's 2 tablespoons of water, a half teaspoon of baking soda, 2 drops of peppermint, and a drop of patchouli. And then you just combine it in a small little container. And you just kind of swish it around in your mouth for a minute and then spit it out. And I'm kind of curious to see what Jiri thinks about that and how she feels about the whole baking soda thing. So the patchouli actually wasn't bad. It was more so the baking soda has like a very salty taste. So just beware of that. But otherwise my mouth felt super clean. And then one more recipe, like for dry scalp is super good. So in a 2-ounce spray bottle, you could do 7 drops each of cedarwood, geranium, and patchouli. And then top that off with water and then a little bit of salt so that it all emulsifies and spray your scalp, okay? It's also part of my dryer ball blend. I think it's great on dryer balls just because it has that really strong, deep smell to it that will last for a while. And then my last one is just a diffuser blend, one of my favorites, which is 2 patchouli, 2 cypress, and 2 bergamot. So I think that's it.
Thanks, Son. Those are really good tips. Okay, everybody, if there are questions we missed, put them in the chat box. The Emotions and Essential Oils link is in there. If you were looking for that book, I put that in there. We're going to go ahead and do my mom is going to share a screen for the raffle. And while we're getting that pulled up, I want to tell you what's coming up. Okay, well, first of all, we love these calls. We do them once a month for 30 minutes in this format on a Monday night. We just think it's really important for people to have education and community to learn about their oils in, right? Okay, so May is on the 17th. We're doing the root of pain. So I will put the link to register for that. Sorry, it went to full screen for me. I will put the link to register. I can't grab the link when I'm full screen in the chat box. And oh, Melissa, you can still share your screen. It's okay. Did you stop? I meant me. I just had to exit out. It made mine full screen. Yeah, sorry. Ignore me. Okay. And then don't forget about our Saturday morning continuing education series, right? Every Saturday morning from 8:30 to 9, we do a different topic. We have 9 different topics we rotate through. This Saturday is essential skincare with Laura and Lindsay. Okay. So let's start right off with which giveaway should we do first? Let's do, oh, Susan Zenka. I think that's a grand prize. We're going to start there. Susan Zenka is sharing a Manifest Your Life, one of her roller blends in a roller bottle. Let's do it.
Sorry, I must have it set really long.
This is still spinning.
Tammy.
All
Tammy
right.
Yakovich.
Next up, we've got a 15 ml peppermint.
You have time to go get a drink or whatever, you know?
You have it set to a long setting. That's hilarious.
Totally hilarious.
It's 10 p.m. We're still waiting for this.
We're spinning. Mary Andrews.
Okay, and then we've got Sonia says TBD. Sonia, what are you doing? How about an herb salt? Melissa, you can tell us about that.
I made a really cool herb salt with different herb oils in it. It's super fun. I'm excited. And that's Deb Wendorf.
What do you do with said herb salt? Okay.
Sprinkling on when you're, when you're doing your potatoes, your veggies.
Okay, cool. Just thought we'd clarify. And then we've got a heart roller bottle. This is like one of the best blends. That's the marjoram in there that I think is so killer. Yeah. Who's that going to?
Emily Lee. I don't know how to say that. Emily Leeskow?
Emily L.
Emily L.
Next up, let's do cilantro.
Terry McVeigh.
Okay. And then spearmint.
While it's spinning, I'm going to tell you, remember, you need to private message me with your information so I know you were on the call. I need to know what you won, and I need to know where to send it, please.
Yep, otherwise we will pick another person.
Jane Verstegen.
All right, and Sonia is perfume labels.
Okay, here we go. Three years later, here we still are. Barb Anderson.
Awesome. All right, everybody, do not forget to send your addresses. The recipes and all the important links will go in Fierce Oilers under the recording when I post it, right? We'll put them all in there. So if you missed it and you didn't save the chat, then you can grab it there, okay? Have a good night, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.